Tonight, a survey reveals what Whyalla residents want done with the Beach Cafe. And a Broken Hill sporting complex in line for a major upgrade.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. Interim results from Whyalla City Council's Beach Cafe survey have been released. More than 1,000 local residents have participated so far, with most wanting the existing building to be retrofitted.
A local cafe which has the whole community talking. The recent survey released by the City Council is seeking the public's opinion on what to do next.
We're really pleased that we've already had over 1,000 responses.
The survey's interim results reveal the top 3 popular choices are in a close battle.
27% of respondees have indicated a preference for the cafe to be reinstated as it was. 25% have indicated they want a cafe but with an expanded footprint.
20% of residents also indicated they want a brand new building. The survey outlining how much each option will cost and how long it will take to complete. But the member for Giles says more information about the building itself is needed.
One of the things that has not figured in all of this, it's not just the cafe, but there's also the Surf Air Lifesaving Club.
Council will be considering the short to medium term use of the facility. This is a prelude to the broader conversation we want to have with the community about the longer term evolution and master planning for the Foreshore Precinct.
The Ratepayer Association meeting with Council's CEO last night to discuss their concerns around the closure of the cafe.
It's a family place for people to gather, and when you can't do that, it's very disturbing.
For those who do not have access to the online survey, hard copies are available at the Civic Building, Public Library, Childcare and Visitor Centre. It can also be taken over the phone. The survey closes this Sunday and a decision will be made on the 15th of February. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A 2.5-metre bronze whaler has washed ashore on the outskirts of Port Lincoln. And a warning, the following pictures may be disturbing to some viewers. Passers-by stumbled across the animal near the North Shields jetty just after midday. Locals at the scene today says it's not unusual for sharks to wash onto the beach around the area. Fisheries officers are now investigating the cause of death. Police are on the hunt for a man who indecently assaulted a woman in Whyalla Jenkins last Wednesday. The woman was walking along Jenkins Avenue around 9 in the evening when a man approached her offering money. She refused and was then indecently assaulted. The suspect is described as being of Aboriginal appearance, 170 centimetres tall, slim build, and was wearing a white t-shirt and dark pants. And in an unrelated incident, a 26-year-old Whyalla man has been caught allegedly drink driving, more than 4 times the legal limit. Police patrolled stopping the car in Whyalla Stewart this morning. The driver allegedly returned a positive blood alcohol reading of 0.237. Further checks revealed the man has also never held a driver's licence. He will appear in court at a later date. Broken Hill's Norm Fox Oval is set for a makeover, with council receiving a state government handout of almost $2 million. Local sporting groups welcoming the funding, even though it will only cover a fraction of the redevelopment.
Ageing facilities in need of a facelift. The vision for a sporting hub at O'Neill Park moving one step closer today.
$1.993 million going towards the refurbishment but complete overhaul and upgrade.
The state government handout is part of a fund for regional towns contributing resources to the economy. Broken Hill's Mayor keen to begin work in the next few months.
We've been looking at this precinct for some time and, you know, you could put a Band-Aid on it, but really what it needed was a complete fresh look.
Norm Fox Oval set for a rebuild, but it's netball emerging as the big winner. New courts at the top of the construction checklist.
We're probably maybe down to 8 playable courts for the season, with loose gravel and rondo actually coming up through the bitumen.
And while the funding announcement was welcomed by all sports clubs present, they say it's only a drop in the ocean.
the size of this project needs significant funds. $2 million that has been announced now is a good starting point.
Sam Farraway represented the Deputy Premier today. However, local MP Roy Butler says he wasn't invited, calling on the government to release unallocated funds from previous rounds. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
John Perry Secondary School will be bringing back Yonder pouches this year to stop students being distracted by mobile phones. The concept is gaining popularity, with other schools across the region following suit.
A phone-free space for eager young minds. These small pouches are making a big difference, with schools recording an 84% improvement in students' engagement. John Perry is no exception.
The Yonder pouches keep our phone away from us and distracting us from certain, like our learning, and so we can do better.
I think it would definitely reduce bullying because you won't be at school and doing it.
These New Year 7s admit their smart screens can at times be distracting.
If you're on your phone all the time at school, it will interrupt your learning and you don't really socialise as much.
Popping their phones away before class, magnets are used to open up at the end of the day.
Come out this gate and there's like a magnetic thing and you hit it against it and it opens it.
While not everyone welcomed the concept with open arms, it's now being embraced.
There was a bit of backlash, I guess you could say, but coming back a year later, speaking to those students, they've said that it actually is a great addition to their school.
They're very bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, they're ready to do whatever we ask them to do, so there has been no grumbles at all this year.
Yonder representatives are travelling across the region, anticipating other schools will eventually follow suit.
So we just finished in Port Lincoln High School, and we're going to be doing some schools in Adelaide as well.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, our region's national park visitor numbers soar and a Port Augusta correctional officer honoured for his service. Welcome back. Broken Hill Police are appealing for information after a car was destroyed by fire this morning. Emergency crews rushing to a home on Thomas Lane at 2 a.m. Firefighters stopped the flames from spreading to the home, but the ute was destroyed. Police established a crime scene as they investigated the cause. Anyone with information should contact Crime Stoppers. Regional national parks are experiencing a visitor boom as thousands of holidaymakers continue to explore their own backyard. Port Lincoln's park recording a staggering 101% increase in entries compared to previous years.
It's stunning images like these that show why Lincoln National Park is renowned around the world.
It's really a spectacular natural landscape to go and visit the Lower Eyre Peninsula.
And now the word is getting out, with thousands of tourists flocking to the regional park.
Since the COVID restrictions have been relaxed, we've experienced pretty sustained, strong visitation.
The park recording a staggering 101% increase in visitors during December compared to the previous year.
All in all, I think it's for the good of the parks.
Despite scenes earlier in the year of rubbish being dumped up the west coast, park rangers say on the whole, visitors at Lincoln National Park are being respectful.
The people using the national park, at least, Lincoln National Park, have come to expect that they take their rubbish home with them, which is a good message.
In our parks, it's been really good. People have been respecting the parks and doing the right thing.
Coffin Bay also recording a 74% rise, while York Peninsula numbers jumped by 90%.
Haven't had time to take a breath.
And while it's beginning to slow down, rangers predict it'll ramp up again towards Easter.
We encourage people to come and see our parks. Book online, it's really easy. That way people can be assured of a place to camp.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
With less than 2 weeks until university enrolments close, regional students are being urged to make sure their subjects are ready. UniHub will be welcoming some new faces on campus this year, including nursing students.
A mad dash to enrol in university, with regional students now given the opportunity to study from home.
When I first wanted to study, they didn't actually have the UniHub here in Port Pirie. So when I heard that they were bringing something like this to Port Pirie, it was really good. I thought it would be useful.
Our enrolments are still open, so if you're interested in applying for university, it's definitely not too late.
Port Pirie nursing student Ashley Anderson is preparing for a big year in the books and will be using UniHub as his studying base.
I'm wanting to do my bachelor's degree for a couple of years now, and one of my friends talked me into coming here and studying with her.
Utilising a bridging course to get his study underway, he encourages other potential students to follow suit, saying the regional campus is giving him valuable support.
I've had to work my whole life to get what I want where I want, so being able to stay at home and study is really good.
Meanwhile, UniHub staff are working around the clock with Cadena's campus only weeks from opening. York Peninsula students studying locally and in the city will be able to access these new facilities.
It means that for students who might be in the city who come home through the holidays, they've got somewhere that they can study.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A Port Augusta man has been recognised for his service as a correctional officer at the local prison. Awarded an Australian Corrections Medal, the 70-year-old says his passion for the job will remain until the day he hangs up his keys.
A special reward, recognising 43 years in the correctional service.
Not only, I don't see it as just for me, I see it as recognition for Port Augusta Prison.
Kevin Wennon began his days as a prison officer at the former Port Augusta Jail in August 1977. Aside from dedicating his time to his working life, he also helps to care for his wife Marilyn, who has been disabled for the past 26 years. And he has no plans to retire anytime soon.
Port Augusta Prison and the staff, as I mentioned before, past and present, will be with me even when I'm no longer in the service, but will be with me till my last breath.
He recalls how times have changed since the early days, sharing those memories with his wife, whose late parents also shared a close connection with the former jail.
My mum and dad were the matron and the superintendent of the prison for 20 years, and so I've been in the prison life with parents and husband since I was 8.
She says she is proud to see her husband honoured for his long and dedicated career in the service.
I always say I like to go into work with a laugh. I like to leave with a laugh.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us, a new art program coming to Whyalla. And the Great Southern makes its first journey through Broken Hill. A man will face court after he was caught drug driving and driving disqualified in Stirling North. Just before midday on Monday, police stopped a vehicle and submitted the driver to a drug test. He returned a positive result to methamphetamine. Further checks revealing he was driving disqualified and had an outstanding warrant for his arrest. The man was arrested on the warrant, reported for driving disqualified, and had his vehicle impounded. The Great Southern tourist train is stopped in Broken Hill for the first time. The route between Brisbane and Adelaide changed during Victoria's COVID outbreak last year, stopping in the Silver City instead. Passengers disembarked this afternoon to explore Silverton, the Line of Load and Pro Heart Studio.
Local businesses will benefit, tourism will benefit, and I'm hoping that it'll be long term. It won't be just at this stage, as they say.
The tour a whirlwind one, with the train leaving for South Australia at 10:30 tonight. Spencer Gulf residents can now sign up for a new 6-week workshop run by the Whyalla Art Group. The staff receiving a Country Art Skills and Development grant, offering new opportunities for members in the community.
Preparing their brushes and painting their designs, these Whyalla locals are gearing up for 6 weeks of art fun.
It's really exciting. What we've got is a Country Arts is a skills development grant, which allows us to have a portraiture and oils workshop.
Positions for the portraiture and oils workshop are now open, with the art group encouraging locals to get in quick.
The workshop will be open to members as well as public. However, there are limited places available.
In a coupe for students, recent Port Lincoln Art Prize winner Olivia White will be teaching the course.
I'm really excited to teach it and take people all the way through my technique and how I
approach painting a portrait.
The course is designed for beginners right through to advanced painters, with Olivia diving into a range of techniques.
I think they'll learn a lot about the way I think about a portrait, so really breaking it down to the nitty-gritty of value and temperature and how to sort of solve all the little problems that come up and really resolve an image.
Classes are set to run on Tuesday nights.
So if you're looking at taking up painting, you can come down and have a chat to us.
Those interested in applying can find more information on the Whyalla Arts Group's Facebook page. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
It's been a big week for Port Lincoln's basketball, with the Sharks taking home gold in the Women's B-Grade Country Championship. Nathan Regter has this week's sports wrap.
Records have tumbled in Adelaide, with the Sharks winning Port Lincoln's first Senior Country Championship Grand Final. The Sharks were out for blood early on, defeating the Storms in the semi-final. They kept the momentum going into the Grand Final for a thrilling race to gold. 3 fouls started the game before Meza Otto scored the first goal for the Sharks. It didn't take long for her to score another point, while the Hornets began to sink. Quickly causing a buzz on the courts, the Hornets managed to scrape in 2 points. The Sharks weren't going to let that fly, stepping it up a notch, finishing with a 9-point lead at half-time. In the third quarter, Port Lincoln continued to outscore, with the game quickly flying away from the Hornets. The final term cementing the Sharks' victory, taking out their first country championship, 53-19. The B-Grades men team managed to make it into the finals but suffered an 11-point loss against Strathalbyn. Over to Port Pirie, and it was a tight contest between the Pacers and Globetrotters, the teams drawing 34 all. In the other game, the Cats pulled ahead early on against the Ducks but couldn't keep the momentum going, slipping behind in the second quarter. The Ducks causing a flap, taking home the win, 56-47. Moving over to Whyalla, and the Wildcats had a win over the Titans, while the Braves won against the Demons, 35-25. In Port Augusta's men's basketball, it was a close contest between the Cobras and Titans, the latter securing the win in a close margin. The other match saw another thrilling game as the Eagles scraped through to a 2-point win, 42-40. Well done to the winning teams, and if you would like to see your league's results featured here on our bulletin, get in touch through our Facebook page.
Stay with us after the break. We will check the region's fuel prices and we'll take a look at the latest weather details. Hello again. Let's take a look around the Bowsers and see where you can save when you fill up. Here's Lachlan Itter with this week's Fuel Watch.
For the 4th week on the trot, there's pain at the pump with fuel prices going up across our region. Starting with unleaded and some good news in Whyalla. Prices there unchanged at $1.30 a litre. Small jumps across the rest of the board. Nowhere has gone up by even a cent this week. Port Augusta and Kadina both $1.23, while it's just under $1.30 in Port Lincoln. Broken Hill is the most expensive town to fill up in our region, also at $1.30. Port Pirie, the pick of the bunch, at $1.21 a litre. Spare a thought for those in the city, where prices have jumped 14 cents. The Steel City's diesel prices unchanged too, but it is one of the pricier places to fill up the tank. Port Lincoln also staying at $1.19, the cheapest of our regional centres. A mixed bag elsewhere, $1.21 in Port Pirie, $1.22 in Port Augusta and $1.23 in Kadina. You'll need to keep the credit card handy in Broken Hill, where diesel is up to $1.35. The city's prices not much better than the country, $1.18 in the capital. Finally, to Autogas, where there's uniformity across the board. If you're west of the Gulf, you'll be paying just under $1 a litre. On the eastern side, it's 10 cents cheaper. Here's though where Broken Hill has some good news. Gas is under 88 cents. Adelaide's prices have risen almost unnoticeably, 74 cents a litre there. Remember that these prices are the regional averages and do not reflect any one particular outlet. And if you do spot unleaded, diesel or auto gas cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
And with the weather, here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John. Conditions were mostly sunny and warm throughout the region today. From 3 p.m, Port Lincoln recorded a high of 23. It got to 32 degrees in Woodna, and Clare had a top of 29. Looking at the rest of the region now, Cooper Pedy and Port Augusta were 32 degrees. Broken Hill had 28. Tops of 29 for Whyalla and Kadina. Port Pirie had 30 degrees. Adelaide was somewhat milder with a maximum of 24. The satellite image shows bright-looking high jet stream cloud crossing SA. This ahead of a trough is bringing virtually no rain. Cloud is thickening in the far west as the trough forms, causing patchy rain to develop. Skies are relatively clear in the state's east and far north where winds are drier. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Winds will be easterly reaching between 10 and 15 knots. Seas around 1 metre with south to southwesterly swells rising to 2 metres. Some showers on the way tomorrow. Port Lincoln will have a top of 23 degrees, 22 for Cleve, and Woodna just slightly cooler with 21. While I can expect a high of 28, it'll be humid in Port Augusta with 31 there. Kadina will have some gusty winds late in the day and a top of 26. 29 degrees in Port Pirie. Clare is forecast to reach 27, and Broken Hill at the region's maximum temperature of 33. Taking a look further through the week now, showers will continue across most of the region on Friday. Mostly sunny conditions and 26 for Cooper Pedy. Gusty winds are expected for Port Augusta and Whyalla. Saturday we'll see those wet conditions begin to lift in most areas, but a few showers are forecast in the south. Cooper Pedy and Broken Hill will reach 29 degrees, tops of 24 for Whyalla, Port Pirie and Kadina. Sunday will bring some mainly fine conditions and mild to warm temperatures, 31 for Cooper Pedy. Port Augusta, Woodna and Port Pirie all have 26 degrees. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Thanks, Alex. And that's the local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will be back tomorrow night. Enjoy your evening. Good night.